Welcome back, my sister, to another episode of Talk to Aunty Rosy, where I'll be talking to you about how you may be blaming yourself for other people's actions. I think everyone may have done this at some point in their life.
Welcome to Talk to Aunty Rosy, the podcast that helps women who are healing by having deep conversations, giving practical advice and words of encouragement. Come on, let's talk about it.
Now, if you are a first time listener, let me introduce myself. My name is Rose Jones, and I am your host here at Talk to Aunty Rosy Podcast. And I am a survivor of self hate, domestic violence, and childhood trauma. And I am currently battling PTSD, but I didn't allow any of that to stop me. I decided to continue my story by creating a community for women who are in their beginning stages of self healing. And in this community, we help women with skill building, we give them useful tools, we have educational programs, we have support, and on this podcast, I will be sharing with you my life experience. We'll be having those deep conversations, and I'm going to be showering you with love and support. And I will also be giving you advice and encouraging words. If you are a woman who are trying to heal and need emotional support and want to rebuild your confidence, then sister, you are in the right place. To become a weekly listener, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you won't miss an episode of Talk to Auntie Rosie. Now let's get into today's episode. Why do I seem to blame myself for other people's actions? The best way for me to help you understand this is to use an example of what happened to me. I want to share this story with you. You may get emotional or it may be triggering, just to warn you. So I was about 7 months pregnant, sitting in my house, and I was stressed out. My mind was racing because once again, my intuition, that feeling you have in your stomach when something bad is about to happen, that gut feeling you get, that feeling that's telling you something. Well, I had this feeling about my boyfriend, and I felt like something was wrong. So I called him, but no answer. I called him again, no answer. All types of doubts started to pop in my head. Is he cheating on me again? Is he might be hurt? Is he in jail? All these thoughts was racing through my head. So that made me want to call him even more. I called him over 20 times. Speed dial. Back to back, back to back, back to back. When he didn't answer, this made me feel even more anxiety. And I thought to my head, boom, his mom was downstairs. He always answered the phone for his mom. Let me go downstairs and ask her to call him. And she did. He picked up the phone on the first ring. Ding. Hi, Mom. My heart dropped. Ooh, instantly I got angry. I started to yell at him. Ooh, I got myself so worked up. I started to feel like this sharp pain in my stomach, but I didn't care. I just kept on yelling at him. Then his mother noticed my condition and she told me to sit down. And then I started to burst into tears. That pain started to become unbearable. She grabbed the phone from me and she told her son to come home and take me to the hospital. Now, my kid's father, like, ooh, he's a speed demon. This man be dipping through traffic. All I could imagine was him driving crazy through the streets, getting home. And it made me feel even worse because if he got hurt speeding to get home, it was my fault if he got hurt. But he got to his mom's house about in 7 minutes. He burst through the door yelling at me and saying that ain't nothing wrong with me, that I was lying, I would say anything to make him come home. He was angry as hell at me. He didn't care if that I was in pain. He didn't care about anything. All he wanted to do was get back, try to figure out a way to get back to what he was doing. Before I started bothering, his mom finally convinced this man to take him to the hospital. During this whole ride to the hospital, he was calling me out my name. He was calling me stupid. He was calling me a dumb bitch. He was saying that I was faking it while driving like at 70 in a 30 speed lane. Now I'm scared out of my mind. I'm gripping my seatbelt the whole time. I'm blaming myself, like, why did I call this man? Why did I bother him? We finally got to the hospital. I thought that he was going to help me into the hospital, but nope. Because at this point, the pain was so unbearable. But nope, he pulled up to the hospital door and told me to get out the car. And I told him I couldn't even walk, but he said that I was faking it again and I was lying. And he didn't care. He wanted me the fuck out of his car. And I couldn't get out because I could barely walk and I was in pain. He got even madder and he pulled up closer to the door, like to the ER door, and reached over me and opened the door and said, get out the car. And he tried to push me out the door and I was like, I cannot get out. I cannot get out. So he literally made sure he positioned me and then put his foot on my back and physically kicked me out the car. And I fell to the ground and he pulled off with the car door still open. And then the hospital workers saw me on the ground and then rushed to help me. While sitting in the hospital, I started to blame myself for what just happened. I told myself that it was my fault, that if I wasn't so worried about what he was doing, my child life wouldn't be at danger right now. I should have just shut up. I should have just left him alone. I should have just left this relationship a long time ago. When he first started treating me like this way, all these thoughts of self-blame were floating in my head. It was making me feel worse and worse. Then I ended up staying in the hospital for 2 days. I thank God that they was able to stop my labor from me having a baby early. The problem here is that I allow my kid's father actions to affect me mentally and emotionally. I blame myself for him not having self-control, for not being able to control his emotions and not being able to keep his hands to himself, and for everything that happened that went wrong that night. I did all this because I wasn't ready to walk away from the relationship, to be honest. If I blame myself for his actions and his reactions, that gives me a reason to stay. It wasn't his fault, it was me. All I wanted was reassurance that the person that I love loved me back. But I didn't get that. Nope, instead he called me out my name, kicked me out of a moving car. And I felt like I was trash, not deserving of love, because I placed all the blame on myself. I gave him a pass and no consequences was given to him. So when you take blame for other people's actions, you give them permission to continue to behave, telling them that it's okay to treat me this way actually is not okay. Yes, we all have our part in a disagreement, but we are only in control of ourselves. Yes, our actions may influence or trigger someone to do things, but it's not our fault when someone takes a disagreement to a place of abuse. It's not your fault when they lose control of their words, emotions, or behaviors. Because as adults, we're responsible to learn how our triggers, how to deal with conflict and in a healthy way. How a person responds to an action or a word is solely their responsibility. What they do, I repeat, it's their responsibility to be in control of their actions. They need to learn to control themselves. Now, I want you to drop a comment below and tell me if you ever experienced this yourself. You're blaming yourself when someone wronged you, you know? So now let me talk about what some methods I use to help me with this problem. I think you can get out of this situation unless you aim to help yourself. I did things to solve this problem. That was effective for me. Now, I'm going to share with you also so you may also get out of this situation. The first thing that you should do is try to fix yourself. You must be willing to do for yourself what you want others to do for you. So I had to learn how to control my triggers, my emotions, and my actions and my behaviors. It wasn't easy, but I knew that it was something that I had to do to stop self-blaming. Because if I was fully in control of myself, then I would be able to see a situation for what it truly is, not through a cloudy filter. Secondly, stop pleasing others and live for yourself. It can be hard for you to disagree with others, but you have to take a stand for yourself. Realize that you have a choice. Set your boundaries, even if you are in a relationship. Identify the things that makes you happy. Also, avoid feeling guilt about the things that you are not, that you make mistakes. You should make them realize that you cannot be controlled anymore. Third, accept yourself and your flaws. We are human. We are born with our flaws and imperfection. No one is perfect here. But accepting yourself with all your flaws is the thing that makes you special. Accept yourself for who you are. You might be somewhat emotional, but that doesn't mean that other people have the right to treat you badly. Accept yourself, because if you don't protect yourself, love yourself, and nurture yourself, no one will. You can only receive love on the capacity that you love yourself. So if you don't feel love about yourself, you can't be able to accept it from someone else. You feel good about loving yourself, which will result in self-blame, self-hate, and cause you to do things that can cause more pain and hurt. These are just a few things that I did to help stop blaming myself. These can help you rebuild your self-confidence, help you start to get your dignity and independence, to help you make better decisions. Well, that's all for today's episode. I hope my story helped discover something or help you see your situation in a new light. But before I end this episode, I would like to invite you to my Facebook group called Let Rose Speak Sisterhood. If you are a woman who are going through difficult situation and want to help, or you are trying to start self-healing process, then this is the group for you. In this group, we have weekly challenges, monthly live sessions, and we answer questions about self-healing, self-love, personal development. Inside this group, we motivate each other and support each other. And this group is a no judgment zone. So the best part about this is it's private and it's free. So if you want to join this group, I would like for you to click the link in the description below, or you could directly look us up on Facebook. Just look in the group tab and type in Let Rose Speak Sisterhood. Now that is it for today's episode. If you learned something new today from our episode, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and share with me some things that you have learned from this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because it's totally free. And I'll see you in the next episode. I'll talk to Aunty Rosy. And I also want to apologize for the background noise. I'm in the office, and it's a lot of voices, and my office is not soundproof no matter how much I tried. So I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.